was a hard decision between the two, but South Carolina came in earlier. They didn't really play a big part in it, but at the end of the day, they did have.
When did you reach that zero moment of relief? When you woke up this morning? Did you go to bed knowing? Did you decide when you woke up?
Actually, I was at church. It was over the weekend, and I was kind of sitting in service, and I don't know, just had something come over me, and I needed to step outside, and I called my coach first of all. And, first I talked to my mom back in the back, and we talked about it for a little bit. And I called Coach Sutherland and called Coach Muschamp and Coach Winter right after that. So.
What is it going to be like to play Clemson, considering you played your high school football essentially in the shadows of Death Valley?
It's definitely going to be an experience. Definitely looking forward to it, of course. But now I'm just going to take it day by day and start to grind out.
What were the emotions as you put pen to paper there today?
Emotions were high, of course. Just happy and glad, that this day is here and that I'll, be going to school for free. That's the big point. That's the big picture here.
And how excited are you to just finally kind of get it going here and go in for the Gamecocks?
I'm definitely relieved, have this all behind me and have, the whole world in front of me. So I'm ready. I'm eager to get on campus and get started.
How did Will Muschamp react when you told him?
He was happy. He was happy. I kind of played a little trick on him, made him seem like I was going somewhere else. And, kind of snapped him back in. He told me he was going to strangle me when he seen me. I hope he doesn't, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's not going to suddenly have the stadium stairs waiting for you.
Yeah, I guess.
Thinking of education, right? Have you decided on what you're going to be majoring?
I'm hoping to major in business.
What was that conversation with Muschamp like? Can you take us through that whole ordeal?
I called him and started talking to him, and he was. He asked me if I had some good news for him. I told him I had some good news and bad news. The bad news was that he wasn't going to be recruiting me anymore, and that time was over with. But the good news was that he'd be coaching me for the next 3 to 4 years. He was kind of relieved. He took a deep breath at the end of that conversation.
How have they told you about how they want to use you?
As that buck position, linebacker, hybrid, defensive end type.
What do you feel like you'll bring to that position?
I feel like it fits me perfectly with my athletic skill set and everything that I bring to the table. So I feel comfortable with it. Ready to start.
You planning on arriving in June on campus?
June or July.
June or July? Okay.
June or early July. Yeah.
All right.
How about comfortability with guys who are in the class, the signing class, like Jay, for example?
Yeah, I know Jay well, and Jay, Von Bowen, guys like that, Tyree Johnson, meeting them at the Sean Bowl will register. I got a good relationship with those guys, and that played a small part in it.
Any of the players that you're particularly close to that you knew from over the years?
DJ Warner, that freshman defensive end, he played my same position. I'll be playing this year. And when I went on my official visit, we kind of hit it off here. He was my host for that weekend, and so yeah.
How much of a factor was the opportunity to play in the SEC? Obviously, the ACC is a good conference too, but the opportunity to play in the SEC.
Right. It was a big factor, but at the end of the day, it just came down to the other things, the small factors that really weighed my decision. So,
what are your expectations going in as a freshman?
Play as much as possible and work. The output will show, with the input. So,
is that what they talked to you about during the recruitment? An opportunity to come in and
right. That was both schools. Both schools emphasized the opportunity to come in and be able to play. So that stood out for both schools. That's also what made it so difficult between choosing. So
I know you were down to those two. Did anybody else try to get involved late?
No, not really. It was just those two. Mississippi State and Texas A&M were kind of some two that were outside of that top 3. With originally with Tennessee, but other than that, nobody's really trying to jump in.
Obviously, you've grown up here in a rural environment. Is it a little bit exciting to go down to Columbia and live in sort of more of an urban environment for the next 4 years? Does that matter?
Yeah,
as opposed to Blacksburg, which is more a lot like Clemson and Pendleton.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a factor being in the capital of the state.
Yeah.
It'll be exciting, and it's where all the Coach Muschamp talks to me about it all the time. It's where all the ideas happen right there in that very city, and where all the laws and stuff are created. So, it's definitely different being in the city.
And how much was the fact that being in, now your parents and all your family and friends only have to travel 2+ hours to come see your play, as opposed to maybe travel a little bit further to go up to Blacksburg?
It was a small factor because 2 to 4 hours with Virginia Tech being 4 and South Carolina being 2, it played a factor. But I wouldn't say too much.
Other than Muschamp, who else were you close with on the staff, or are you close with?
All the coaches, T-Rob, Mike P, Coach Hustler. Have a really good relationship with him. He was my first recruiting coach when he came in with that staff. So I'm real close to all the coaches.
Last thing I want to ask you, Coach Peterson, his experience playing in the NFL for so long,
Was that any part of the equation for you?
Well, that definitely plays a part in it, just because he'll be my position coach, the guy that I'll be spending the most time with, and he's been through what I want to do, and so he'll definitely be a great role model for me, and hopefully help me reach my max potential.
Everybody gets
Thanks, sir.
Brad.
Congratulations.